Hey everyone, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez, coming at you today with a VeVe update video, VeVe Markets, talking a little bit about crypto. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi. Commenting, liking, subscribing is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon, smash that super thanks button down below. It's going to be a little bit light on live streams this week, unfortunately, just because there's this is Hell Week. There's a lot of meetings. Tonight I wanted to talk about the $4 million Pikachu illustrator that I had brought up the other night on live. It was a PSA 9. It got $4 million on eBay, and so this wasn't even an auction house. This wasn't even like a big one of those, like even like an auction house on eBay, like PWCC used to host those big auctions. It wasn't any of that. It was just straight up on eBay, and it's like, okay, how do you go about this? And Chavez, this is Pokemon. Thought you were going to talk about VeVe. I promise. This is just one of the latest in a series of high-end sales, whether you have the Gengar Masakis, you have the Sabrina's Gengar, both in Gym Challenge and in Gym Hero, Gengar Fossil. And this is because typically when one pumps, the other pumps with it. It's like Obi-Wan talking to the head Gun saying, you and the Naboo form a symbiont circle. What happens to one affects the other. You must understand this. And it's the same thing that happens with Pokemon. Generally, when you have a gold star rise, a lot of gold stars rise. Generally, when you have a base set holo rise, they all rise. So when a Gengar rises, a lot of the other Gengars rise with it. So I was pleased to learn that you have the Masaki, like PSA 9 Gengars going for thousands and thousands of dollars. And back in the day, Dragonite in the fossil, like that was number one for the fossil era. Granted, you had a legendary bird in there, Zapdos, second appearance, still first edition. But Gengar always kind of took a back seat. The artwork was okay, vintage, but it was like, Dragonite was so cool. But now just Gengar has had a massive rise in popularity. Even in the original show, Dragonite was kind of like this mythical Pokemon, was kind of in one episode, looked to be huge. But you had Ghastly, Gengar, and Haunter that were just like fan favorites from when Ash had to go to Lavender Town to get a ghost Pokemon to try to beat Sabrina. And then you had another one where a trainer like drowned at sea, really dark. And then you had these, Gengar, Ghastly, and Haunter again, just in there. Then Ash had a Gengar. Then it was just, it's been, and Mega Evolutions. And the reason why I bring these up is because the same thing that happened to Gengar, the same thing happened to Pokemon trophy cards, is going to happen in the VeVe markets. Because we've seen it before. So for people that are kind of new here and have just kind of started on their VeVe journey, there was a time back in the day where you could get a Todd Batman for $70 in the store. The app launched, and the mindset of people at the time was like, they're okay, the founders are in the Telegram chat, we're talking all the time. All right, at least they're here, at least they're present. Doesn't seem like a rug. We bought a bunch of OMI, and what are they doing with it? And then finally the app launches after X amount of years, and it's like, oh, they really have Batman, they really have Cartoon Network. Oh my god, this is gonna be great. And then kind of nothing happened. It's like a Magikarp splash attack, and then nothing happened. It wasn't until you had, I think, NBA Top Shot. It might have been two things. NBA Top Shots, where you saw massive amounts of money going in this collecting game. Now, how many people were collecting NBA Top Shots because they were basketball fans? And how many people got in because they just wanted to make money? Hard to say. And then for VeVe, you had the really big influencers go in, and you had some OMI utility. OMI goes from like quad 0.3 to like 1.3 cents in like a couple of weeks, and it just caught fire. But even still, there were, like, I joined on February 9th, 2021. There are still Todds in the store. And I know people, whether it's Pokemon, whether it's crypto, whether it's VeVe, people always say every like hype cycle, bro, if I was there, I totally would have bought Todd in the store. If I was in that bear market, I totally would have bought partners for, $800, $900. Heck, even $2,000 if partners goes to like 30K again, 50K again. Because I've seen it everywhere from crypto, Tesla, like anywhere in finance. Like, bro, if I was there, I would have bought it. And it's like, it's just at those times, especially in 2021, there wasn't much indicating that a lot of stuff would go up. And then, as this caught fire, like February of 2021 was much different than June of 2021 or whenever they announced Marvel. Because, Cartoon Network is great, Ghostbusters are great, they have this old school IP, but Marvel, something that's so super, again, Powerpuff Girls, amazing. They everyone knows them from their childhood. Same thing with Ghostbusters, same thing with Adventure Time, obviously Batman. And Batman, they always have current stuff, but when they got Marvel, it was like, oh, they got something that's like super current, and the NFT wave is kind of, up here. But up until that point, it was hard to say what was going to be good and what was going to be. Now, obviously, everything rose because there was only so much that was on the app at the time. You had groups forming over like His Infernal Majesty. You had groups forming over like New Jersey Devil from the Cryptkins. It was insane the amount of groups that were forming of people that were saying like, yeah, we're going to buy all this. We're going to corner the market. We're going to hodl it. Because there was only so much IP there. And then you had the end of season 1, then season 2 and 3 come about. And then people like, all right, I'm just going to be a season 1 OG. I'm going to be a Gen 1er. And then at the end of the day, it's like, okay, listen, do I want this 30th Princess Bubblegum? Or should I sell some of these and get some of this new stuff that's coming out? Because now they have like Disney and stuff. It was going pretty hard. But again, at the time in February of that year, there was really not much to indicate that it was going to go crazy. And then you had the increase in price and the increase in scarcity. Like the availability went down. And now we kind of have that option again on most things. You've had other stuff that's gone up. Like Todd Batman was down to, I think, like $250 at one point. It's up to $500. I think you could have bought the logo for like $1,500 at one point. $5,800 now. Comey Secret Rare logo, probably $600 at one point. $2,500 now. Partner statue is still one of the ones that's relatively low. I think that did go down as low as like $850 a couple times, $900. And it's $1,400 now. So is it still like 50% higher than it was at the low? Yes. Is that something that's going to stay like that forever? Probably not. Because again, we haven't seen that NFT bull market. We've seen glimpses of that here and there with Milady Makers and CryptoPunks and Pudgy Penguins. But we haven't really seen it with VeVe yet. We have a little bit. Again, some of the stuff had bottomed, and now you're probably not going to get Todd for $250 ever again. Probably not going to get Partner Statue for $850 ever again. Gold logo for $1,300, definitely not. You have people that go in and like Mr. MC1 made his name off of buying MC1s. And I don't know if he can really ever sell. Me, I have no problem selling for the right price. Speaking of the right price, I don't think I would sell a logo for anything under 20 grand, because I believe that's probably what there were, especially for the exclusivity of not just the logo. There's 450 of them, give or take, but just being able to guarantee yourself FaceTime with David and Dan. It's like, well, I can guarantee myself FaceTime too. I could just buy a ticket to the con. I could go to the booth. I could ask them questions. Yeah, you could, if they're there. If you want to spend like all day, because granted, David and Dan are at the booth a bit, but not always. And again, you have to be somewhere at a specific place at a specific time, pay to get into the con. And again, you might not see them, and they might be super crowded. You might only really get time for a question. But you get to see them, bar none, for relatively as long as you want at these specific events. And not just them. If you're just like, well, I heard this person has a logo and I really want to ask them a question. Okay, cool. Yeah, by all means, go. So again, I throwing that out there just because for me, everything has a sell price. But also last time, and this happened last time, you had the secret rares that would go from, X to Y, and they would do what, a 4x, 8x, whatever. But their common counterpart, whether it be from Spider-Man, whether it be from like any Marvel Mighty, like the common counterpart of a good, lovable first appearance of any collectible, usually did better. Storm, Deadpool, Harley Quinn only had that one, but it's like Storm, Deadpool, Elektra, Daredevil, and any of these, and I don't just mean Marvel, you had it for others as well. The common outperformed. And I think now, if you take, let's say something like a gold logo, $5,800 now, let's round it up to $6,000. Okay, does it go to 24 grand? I think absolutely. You know, that's a 4x. But I know a couple of comics that you could probably get for $1 or $2 that'll probably go for like $6 or $10 in the future. A lot of them are these Fantastic Four comics. A lot of them are these first appearances, and you can get them for super cheap. And yeah, I think some of these $1 to $2 comics will outperform the gold logo. You have to spend a lot of time by, and again, this is just my guess on them. It's like, okay, well, Travis, if you think that, why aren't you getting them? I mean, granted, I do have like 900 of these freaking comics. But somebody asked me the other day, what, you know, will you sell all of your VeVe stuff? Because I've said before, this time next year, I'm going to be completely out of crypto. Okay, Travis, what about your VeVe stuff? Most of the stuff I have, I'm going to keep. Will I sell some stuff? Sure. Again, for the right price, I'll sell whatever. Especially now that, you know, you have this a ton of people spending so much OMI on Stacker. It's like you can kind of sell what you want because everyone's buying. So it's nice to sell into that. I think I've sold a couple comics. I haven't really done anything crazy. Maybe some Blackpink stuff. But I feel like Nick Fury, where he's like, you know, I was putting my chips on something even riskier, which it's just crypto. Again, for a lot of this stuff on VeVe that could 4, 8, 12x, a lot of the stuff that I have in crypto is really good, just going to outperform. In my opinion, anything go to zero at any moment, but that's OMI. I made I think in my last video or 2 videos ago, like my last crypto investment for this cycle is probably going to be an OMI. Maybe a little bit more DEVVE, maybe a little bit more Definity, depending on what happens between now and November, December, whenever that blow off top is. Maybe a little more daCat. That's not to say that I won't put any more money in VeVe. If we ever get like Nintendo, if we ever get Mario Kart, if we ever get Pokemon, yeah, I'm going to go pretty crazy on that. But for the most part, the crypto, I think, is where a lot of the better games are going to be, and I could be completely wrong with that. You could have certain things on VeVe. You'd have like Grogu, that's like $200 now. Maybe it goes to 20,000. I don't think it will, because that seems insane. I could see Grogu going to a couple grand. I could see it. I could see it being a couple $1,000s, several $1,000s. 20 grand seems like a lot, but again, we don't know. There's so much money that's going to be going into this space. And if you're already, I mean, there's people out there that I know that I've seen the trends. I've seen them do it, where they're like, I have to move some ETH here. And I see them move like $55 million worth of Ethereum. And it's like, oh my God. Gas on that is wild. Yeah, there's going to be people that come in, whether they like VeVe or not. So for anyone that genuinely likes this stuff, and that's why I'm going to keep most of what I have on VeVe, is because I genuinely like it. And I feel like a lot of people that are watching right now, probably, is that a fly? A lot of people that are here right now, they probably genuinely like it. But you're not just going to be competing with people that genuinely like it. You are going to be competing with people that don't give 2 hecks about it. They just want to make money. They just want the top of the top. They want that flex piece. And I think, again, those grails are the ones: Secret Rare Spider-Man, Secret Rare Miles, Partner Statue, Todd. Sub 100s are going to be a thing. Obviously, the VeVe Gold logo. And there's a bunch more that I haven't mentioned that I'm forgetting right now. But yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know that it's going to happen again. In the next, I think, 5 to 8 months, you'll have people come in and be like, bro, you could have got Todd for $500. You're stupid. Why didn't you sell the house and buy them all? Because I think Todd goes to a few to several thousand again. And again, why aren't I doing that right now? Well, I do have a Todd, but again, most of my stuff is just crypto. Again, playing something even riskier. Anyway, that's it for me. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Everyone say bye-bye to Dashi. Bye-bye, Dashi. I love you guys. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, meow, meow.